Alright, let's talk Toy Story 4. Now, when I first saw a preview for Toy Story 4, the first thing that went through my mind was, they're making another one? Didn't we say everything that we needed to say in the third? But Pixar ultimately showed us that there was still plenty in the Toy Story world that needed to be discussed with Toy Story 4, and it was definitely a hilarious and emotional ride that only Pixar knows how to deliver. Pixar has this wonderful little ability of just giving you this baseball-sized lump in your throat of emotion in their movies, and they did exactly that in Toy Story 4 on a couple of occasions. So, per usual, let me give you a brief outlook of how the story progresses without really giving any spoilers. So, we leave the toys at their new home with Bonnie, as we did in Toy Story 3, but things are not entirely going the way Woody had hoped. He's not the top toy anymore, and he's actually dealing with situations where he's the one that's not getting played with, and everybody else is getting played with except him. So, with Woody still having this gigantic sense of loyalty and duty to his kid to make sure the kid is happy, we are now dealing with a scenario where Bonnie is starting to go to school and she does not know how to deal with it, and she's very scared, to the point that Woody is now stowing away in her backpack while she goes to school, and he witnesses her make Forky. Forky, hands down, the star of the show. Forky is a popsicle stick, a pair of pipe cleaners, some googly eyes, and a spork that Bonnie configures together to make a little toy, and because she made it a toy, she accidentally gives Forky sentience. And that's where the comedy really comes in, is Forky is up and moving around, and he knows that he shouldn't be. The first 10 to 15 minutes that you see him, the only thing that he says is, trash? Trash. And constantly makes a mad dash for the trash can and tries to jump inside. And that alludes to the comedy of Woody trying to keep Forky safe, trying to keep Forky from basically committing suicide by just jumping back into the trash can. And it just winds up being this absolutely hilarious scenario that winds up being the jump-off point for the entire movie, where Forky jumps out a window, Woody follows suit, and does it out of a moving vehicle, no less. And they kind of get lost, and then you run into some of the newer characters in the series. Woody runs into Bo Peep, who apparently has been a lost toy for a number of years, and her role in life at this point is finding lost toys, repairing them, and putting them in scenarios where they would get played with by children, and then maybe children would take them home, type of deal. Like, you see them at parks and amusement fairs and stuff like that, and she kind of just follows the route. She'll take this carnival and just kind of follow the carnival and just kind of do the same routine, so on and so forth, until she got to this little town where she had just kind of set up shop for a number of years. But I don't want to get too deep into that. I want you to go see this movie on your own terms and see what you think of it, and get the full story experience on your own. So let me zip my mouth about spoilers. Character development was absolutely great. Toy Story is very quickly reaching this point of like Avengers size, where there is so much star power behind the voices of the toys that there's no way that you're going to showcase them all, and that showed very, very much in this film. Well-established characters like Jessie, the Potato Head, Slinky Dog, T-Rex, Ham the Bank. A lot of them kind of just get put on the back burner almost indefinitely, to the point that some of them don't even have speaking lines, in favor of showcasing some of these new characters, like the plushies that are voiced by Key and Peele, and then, of course, the Daredevil of Canada, Duke Kaboom, who is voiced by Keanu Reeves, which that definitely seems to be the running gag since E3 is like, oh, you want to guarantee success? Put Keanu Reeves in it, and that definitely seems to be working lately. And I have to admit, I'm A-okay with this formula because Keanu Reeves in Toy Story 4 was absolutely hilarious. But with everything in the film, no film is perfect, at least in my opinion. There's no film that is 100% perfect. And I do ultimately feel like Toy Story 4 did kind of suffer from some pacing problems, especially in the second act, where you were constantly flip-flopping between two different scenarios. You had Woody and Forky and Woody and Bo Peep, and then it would immediately zip over to Buzz Lightyear and whatever the hell he was doing, and then it would zip back, and it was just very jarring, because like you'd get like 2 minutes of Woody and Bo Peep, and then you would get like 2 minutes of Buzz, and then 2 minutes of Woody and 2 minutes of Buzz, 2 minutes of Woody, 2 minutes of Buzz, and it just became so jarring that I'm just like, Jesus, stop. But thankfully they kind of wrapped that up and fix that problem come the third act, where everything starts coming to a head. And the amount of, like, we learn in the first Toy Story that there are certain rules that toys have to follow when it comes to humans. And you see the no interacting with humans rule just broken. And broken maliciously throughout the third act of the movie. And the only thing kind of saving the scenario is the fact that, well, the human didn't see the toy move. Forget the fact that he heard it, but he didn't see it, so it's okay. And I like the fact that they kind of made some of the humor a lot more adult this time around. With Key and Peele's character, they wanted to do something. They had to get a key in an antique shop type of deal. So you had this fun little point where they're talking about, okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's our game plan. This is called the Plush Rush. And it's them just breaking the rule of, like, don't move in front of humans and just attacking a human. And it was 3 different scenarios, all 3 of which winding up with the same result. Them breaking the first rule of moving and attacking a human. And then you had the unicorn, which was one of Bonnie's toys introduced in Toy Story 3. Like, every time a plan needed to be devised, his plan was always frame Dad for a crime so he goes to jail. To the point that everyone was like, I got an idea, we're not sending Dad to jail. Y'all are no fun. And it winds up coming full circle, too, because, like, he puts himself in a scenario where the dad gets pulled over by a cop and the unicorn's over in the corner. He's so going to jail! And I could not help but just heartily laugh my ass off over that. It was very well done, and the humor was absolutely spot on. Like, and I saw this as a double feature with, like, Men in Black International. This movie made me forget all about Men in Black International because I was not thrilled with Men in Black at all. But I was damn glad I saw Toy Story 4. So my final verdict, without really going into spoiler territory and just kind of keeping solely on my opinion of the movie, it is a rock solid 8-9 out of 10. Would have been a 10 out of 10 if it hadn't been for the pacing problems. But that is something that you can easily overlook, because anytime you feel like a pacing problem is happening, trust me when I tell you some good comedy is not far behind. So, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate the support. Let me know what you think about Toy Story 4 down in the comments below if you've seen the movie. And I don't know what my next movie is going to be, so I'll definitely keep you posted on that. But hit that subscribe button if you're new, and why don't you hit that follow button and subscribe button on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Jkun Prime, where we pretty much stream all the time, and it's a very welcoming community and environment, so we'd be happy to have you. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.